Hello again. It is. Let's see, how many days are in August? I guess it's the 31st of August 2019. It is 2:20 in the afternoon. I would have done this earlier, but I had really, really bad restless leg syndrome last night and had to take an extra dose of my gabapentin, and it made me really groggy, so I had to go back to bed. I just got a very inspirational message from a girl I went to school with. She says that I should keep up my videos, and so thank you, Tracy. That was awesome. um, oh, by the way, I smoke cigarettes. I have a very addictive personality. Just another one of those things that you can add to the giant pile of mental issues that I have. Um, so today I said I was going to talk about things that make me feel guilty. Um, the biggest, the one that's really been affecting my life, like really badly. I always forget to look at my hair before I get on here. Oh well. It's me! I'm home alone. It doesn't matter what I look like. Um, so the biggie would be my sweet baby Dylan. And here's her story. I let's see, it would have been 10 years ago. So, I was living outside of Seattle, and it was time for my 20th high school reunion. And as I was getting ready, this sweet young boy that worked with me was I made friends with him, and we were kind of hanging out, and he actually um fuck. Okay, sorry about that. I think okay, sorry. I got a message from Polly, and I had to look at it because right now my phone's off, and this is our only means of communication is through Facebook Messenger, and so if he's using that, that means it's important. So, okay, back to my story. Brady, who is, like I said, I worked at Comcast with him. We became friends. Real sweet boy. He at the time he was 22 and had never and was a virgin. Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't expose other people's stuff on here, so I'm not gonna give a lot of details, and I probably shouldn't have said that. Um, so as I was packing up, we were discussing it, and I told him, like, because I love him and as a friend, I would possibly think about taking his virginity. So then I flew to Maryland for a week or two for my reunion and to see my family and everything. And then when I got back, he kind of couldn't stop talking about it and bugged me and bugged me and bugged me and bugged me. And I was just exhausted from traveling. When I travel, I can't just sit down in the plane because of my restless legs. It's too painful. I have to get up and walk around like most of the time. Um, so I was totally whipped, totally wiped out. And he kept asking and asking, and I understand. I mean, first of all, he's a young man, 22. I mean, hormones are going crazy. And then especially if you've never um used those hormones, I don't know. But so I finally said fine, but I'm just going to lay there. And I did just lay there, and I got knocked up. his first time of ever having sex, that poor child, and he knocked me up. A woman who was, what, 22, 16 years older than him. I still love Brady. I've never had any, like, romantic love for him or anything, but I still think he's a sweet, sweet boy who got very unlucky and knocked me up. But, so anyway, la la la, knocked me up. Got to pause for thought. Okay, anyway, I had a really tough pregnancy. Um, I had morning sickness 24 hours a day for the entire 8 months I was pregnant. I was one of the first people to take Zofran that wasn't like nauseous from chemo. They gave me Zofran. They, I would, they, at first they took me off my antidepressant because they didn't know what might happen to the baby. That did not work. I fell into a very, very deep hole. Very. So they decided that it's better to have to risk the risk of what the medicine might do to Dilly versus the risk of what the not having the medicine might do to both of us, like die, kill myself or something, was less of a risk. So they put me back on it. All I could eat were tomatoes and potatoes. Go figure. And I could only do that within a 2-hour span after eating the Zofran or taking the Zofran. My diabetes, like my insulin, what would it be called? Insulin resistance, skyrocketed. I was on so much insulin, it was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Tons of insulin, 4 times a day. And I was really eating right. I wasn't eating sweets. I was staying away from carbs. I was eating just, well, except for the potatoes, because that's sometimes all I could eat. It was rough. But I loved every minute of it. I loved being pregnant with my sweet baby. She was so, I just knew she was going to be so awesome. Brady's really intelligent, and even though I'm crazy and messed up, I'm pretty intelligent myself. So, la la la, pregnancy. They had me going for an NST twice a week. That's a non-stress test. It's where they listen to the baby, they listen to my heart, they take my blood pressure, they do, because I was of an advanced maternal age and a diabetic, so I was a high-risk pregnancy. And one Thursday, because I was going Mondays and Thursdays, I think, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. One Thursday, I went in, and they wouldn't let me leave. They said my blood pressure was too high, I was preeclamptic, and we were going to have to stay and have the baby now. So I called my mommy, and she flew out. Yay, mommy, yay, mommy. When she got here, like, sometime on Friday, and when I say here, I mean there, because I'm not in Seattle anymore. It was wonderful, wonderful to have her there. She was not my birth coach. My friend Brenda was, who was freaking awesome. So anyway, they induced me, and I just wasn't dilating. Ended up at Saturday afternoon. They had to do a C-section because both myself and Dilly were exhausted. And my blood pressure was super high. It was just crazy. So then Mom and I went to the OR. Mom said I dozed off for a minute, for a little bit while I was in there. I didn't feel a thing because I'd had an epidural, and we're just talking, and all of a sudden I heard just this little sound like eh. And I was like, Mom, she's here, she's here. She's like, no, not yet. And then all of a sudden I heard she started really crying, like rah, like a baby who's just been ripped from the womb. And she's like, oh my God, you're right. Because she wasn't looking. They had the drape up because she didn't want to look at all the ickiness. I kind of wanted to see, but whatever. Um, Mom was the first one to hold her, aside from the doctor who removed her from my body. And I find that really, really, really special. Now, Mom and Dilly have a wonderful, wonderful relationship. Mom's not in the greatest of health. Dilly takes care of her. She's really considerate to her. She's really sweet and kind to her. And I mean, not that she doesn't have bad moods like children do and get, you know, they go up and down. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. Took her home. Well, no. First, she had to leave. I had to stay in the hospital. She had to leave me for 24 hours to go lay under the blue lights because she was jaundiced. Her dad went with her. Brady went with her, but oh God, I hated it. I hated it, hated it, hated it. Her being away, I just wanted her in my arms. So she came back. We both got better. We both went home. However, I had just had like what felt like my body cut in half because that's what C-sections feel like. Every time you cough, you feel like all your intestines are gonna fall out right in your lap. Um, that night we were supposed to go to the pharmacy, and they had prescribed me some pain pills. We were supposed to go get them, and we were just so excited and stuff that we forgot. So I was gonna wait for my mom to get there in the morning because she couldn't stay with me because of her allergies, and I have cats and dogs, and I'm a pet girl. So I waited for her to come the next morning, and before we went to the pharmacy, I took one of her pain pills. Um, I Dilly was crying, and this was like in 3 o'clock in the morning, way before Mom. And the only way I could stop her from crying is to walk her up and down our porch. And I was in pain, but it like didn't matter. And I had that little darling in my arms, and we walked very slowly up and down the porch. It's a big porch because it was a porch at an apartment building where there's the porch is for 5 apartments. It goes all the way across, or 6 maybe. And we just walked back and forth and back and forth. And I must say, that moment right there was probably the greatest moment of my life. And I will never forget it. So, finally, Mom got there. I took pain pill. I handed Dilly to Mom. I pumped. Whatever else I had to do. I tried to get some rest. It didn't happen. Um, Brady was in and out. When he wasn't working, he was there trying his best to help. And it ended up just to skip along, 3 months later, September, I was moving home to live near my family here in Maryland. I'm actually in Pennsylvania, but in Maryland, because I wanted to raise my Dilly by her grandmother and her aunt and her cousin and all that stuff. She needed family. And even though I was on my antidepressant, I went a little crazy, and I couldn't get off the couch. I would get up to feed her and get up to change her, but that was it. I would just lay there and watch her play or watch her sleep or whatever. When she's little, they sleep a lot, so I, you know, and I wasn't keeping my house tidy. I wasn't changing my litter box. It it wasn't good. It wasn't a good. I was hauling her out wherever I went, whether it was the middle of the night or I wasn't being a good parent, and so I slipped and sprained my ankle one day, and my sister took Dilly, and she's been with her ever since. And I fought it at first because I love that girl more than anything in this whole world. I just wasn't, even though I was 39 years old, I wasn't prepared to take care of her. And I had so many dreams for her, I was all organic, no sugar. She didn't really have any sugar till like her first birthday, and she went nuts. Mom and I got her home that afternoon, and she was just like hyper and crazy. Um, I, you know, I fed her vegetables and fruit, and she loved beans and avocados and just all kinds of healthy stuff. She's my girl, and she's still that way. She loves all that stuff. She loves vegetables. She even sometimes says she's a vegetarian, even though she eats meat. But she was about 16 months then, I think. She was so funny and so wonderful. And so, anyway, my sister is now raising my daughter. My daughter doesn't know she's my daughter. After a few months of living there, she would call me mommy, but after a few months living there, she started calling my sister mommy. Knife through the heart there. But it was a good thing because she was being her mommy. And so she calls me Mommy Cheryl. But again, she doesn't really know why she calls me that. Um, it the weird thing is Dilly is the biggest source of joy in my life. And unfortunately now she's the biggest source of pain in my life. God, please don't ever, 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 if you ever meet her, don't tell her she's my daughter. And certainly don't tell her that she causes me pain, because it's really not her fault. Um, but I had to give her up. And she's got a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. I know I did the right thing. My sister and my brother are both mentally and financially stable. They're very good parents. They have energy. They spend time with her. She gets to go to Girl Scouts and summer camp and you know dance class and soccer and all these things that I could have never done for her. And she's a very well-rounded child. She's not afraid to eat new things. She loves sushi, like just little things like that. She's thank you, Robin and Jeff. That's my sister and my brother-in-law. They have done a wonderful, wonderful job. But I still have so much guilt inside of me. So much. So much that it just cripples me that I was not able to be a mother to my only child because, I was 38. It's not like I was going to have another one. Um, she's the most, She's the neatest, most wonderful person in this world to me. I mean, I just think she is the coolest person. And she's growing up right. And see, I'm saying all these things like she's got a better life, she's growing up right, she's healthy, and they're all good things. And I know that, but I can't get rid of the guilt. It's so hard. That's one reason I'm, dumping it all on the world in this vlog. Is hopefully if I get it some out of, the more I get it, talk about it and get it out of me, hopefully it'll stay out of me. Because, well, basically, up until a couple years ago, and she's 9 now, I still cried every single day about Dilly. Now it just happens about once a week. Because she is living such a great life. But if I don't forgive myself, I'm never going to be able to move on and be happy. And I really want to be happy. I'm allowed to see her whenever I want. However, I have not seen her since Christmas. Another thing I feel guilty for, because I have been so deep in this depression hole that I don't want her to see me like this. Because one little emotional thing happens and I'll sob like a baby, and I don't want. And so I talk to her on the phone sometimes, and when I was in Mississippi, I sent her postcards. And when I look at her sweet face, it feels so good. I want to kiss her all over. And then also, it's like a knife to the gut that I failed her and I was not able to take care of her like I should have, because she's a wonderful, wonderful child. And even if she wasn't a wonderful child, she's my child, and I should have been able to take care of her. But I couldn't, and it was all because of this stupid fucking disease or disorder or mental illness, whatever we're calling depression. I've been battling this since I was 12. The depression, not the guilt, obviously. And I never knew it would affect me so much that I couldn't get up and take care of my child. That is fucked up. That is so messed up. So, so very messed up. But like I said, she's 9 years old. She just turned 9. She's perfectly happy. She has all kinds of activities that she does. She wants to be a scientist when she grows up and an artist. So, she's got both sides there. I believe that if anyone could do it, it could be her. She could probably, find a cure for cancer and be the next, Renoir or something. I don't know. I can't think of Monet. I don't know. So that's my biggest guilt. Dilly is my biggest guilt. And I'm going to go... I have a list here of all my big guilts that are probably affecting my recovery from depression. And I'm going to go through them day by day. Let's see, what are we at here? I can't tell. 25 minutes almost. So, this is a long one. I'm sure it's boring as hell, but it's helping me. And that's really why I'm doing it. If it helps someone else, awesome! I would love to help someone else while helping myself. Because one day, I'm going to be filming these, and I'm going to be like, hey, I've been happy for 6 months. La la la. I'm back at work. I've got, whatever. It's going to be good. Nowhere near there yet, but it will happen. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.